Is that the same one we were on? Is
like
that where we made breakfast? No, that was at Kellie's house.
That was at Kellie's house.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all I could see was the railing, and the railing looks the same as Kellie's. So.
I can real quickly though show y'all the ghetto garden since we out here.
Yo, show us I want to see it.
Looks okay, so it looks really bearish now because I just pruned some lettuce. But let's see if you can.
Oh wow, you got a whole.
Okay. Well, you got to put the chicken wire up so the squirrels and stuff. Birds
I do
don't
have
get
chicken wire.
No, that's why I was telling them. I was like, you got to put that up there.
Yeah,
no, I didn't realize she went ahead and got the setup. I know before we were just looking at the little cups inside the pan, but now you got.
I learned that trick the hard way because I grew beautiful tomatoes, and every day a squirrel would grab one, take it, eat half of it, and leave it on my fence, almost like a diss. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So does it taste very different than buying it from the grocery store?
Right now, I have about 3 jalapenos on there, about 2 or 3 zucchinis.
Nice.
My collards and my cabbage are doing pretty good. My watermelon, my cantaloupe are doing good. I got 2 mint plants.
Well,
sorry, y'all. I got distracted.
Trey, every time they start talking about gardening, these 2 nerds just start.
Yeah, man.
Sorry.
Hey, listen, you call me a nerd if you want, but if the grid goes down and the grocery store closes, I'm gonna be all right. I don't know about you.
Look, me and Terry are gonna be all right. Okay.
Yep.
I
can hunt, I can fish, and I can farm, so I'm gonna be fine.
You can try to make yourself sound productive all you want. You're still a nerd, okay? That's
fine. Boom shakalaka.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world.
Welcome to another episode of the Worst Ones podcast. This is the safe place, or the unsafe place we discovered for preacher's kids.
It's lunch edition this time.
My name is Rudy Wilson. I am one of your PK hosts. We got Janessa in the building. She's a PK. Terry Weezy in the building. He's a
problematic. This is problematic. That's all it is.
Kellie Lee may or may not be joining us momentarily. We should see what happens. But we do got a special guest here. We'll bring him in a second. But before we do, let's start with the crew. Terry Wayne, how are you? Oh, I just rhymed 3 times. Did y'all catch that?
Yeah.
Whoa.
You missed your calling.
Before we do, we gonna see what's up with the crew. Terry, what it do?
Hey.
Come on. You know we rappers and choir members up in here.
Yeah, well, I'm white, so rhyming things frightens me naturally. I am in new surroundings. I am dog sitting for my sister while she is in Orlando with my nephew, who is competing in the Special Olympics.
Okay.
Yep.
In Orlando?
Yep.
Gotcha.
And he got silver yesterday in the long jump.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You know what's not to jump in on your story, but I actually because I got a couple like autistic cousins, and I worked at Special Olympics when I was in like middle school or high school, and I didn't even know he was gonna be there until I was there. Like I was just there, and we just both looked at each other like, wait.
Yeah.
I know you.
Well, I mean, that's what he's autistic. But yeah, I mean, he ain't Jesse Owens or anything. Like,
right.
Yeah, you can get silver if you jump like 2.5 feet. It's fine.
Hey,
but he has a great time doing it. You know, the thing that I take away from it the most is how bad he feels when he loses, because he really tries hard. So when he loses, he gets super bummed out. He gets really upset. But that just makes me like, that's just almost like a high watermark about how much he appreciates it and how much, he tries.
And he's not just
so it bums, like my sister gets really bummed out when he loses, when he gets upset. But I'm like, no, that's a good thing. That just shows you how much he likes it.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Your sister is in West Palm, or where's she staying?
She technically it's West Palm, but it's pretty much Wellington. It's like out here by Wellington. So
gotcha.
It's the suburban nightmare that fuels my dreams every night. Like I couldn't live out here. Everybody's packed in tight together. Everybody knows everybody. I'd rather I'm an island. You know.
At least a peninsula.
Yeah, I lived in a condo building for 6 years, and I don't know one of my neighbors, and I love it. Like,
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that at all.
Mm-mm.
All right, Jay Rihanna, how art thou?
Yes, I'm good. It's very busy. End of the semester, Sunday-ish. So I have paper due tomorrow, and
we making honor roll again. What we doing?
Huh?
I said we making honor roll again. What we doing?
You know, the honor roll.
I think they call it the dean's list at this point.
Look, we making it. No, I'm actually, not to toot my own little horn.
Go on and toot it.
You know, when you look at your grades, when you have a final project due, and it's like, how many points do I have to get a certain grade?
Right.
And, you know, old habits die hard. So I was doing it. And so to my surprise, I've only missed 7 points this whole semester. I would have to lose like another 80-something points to get an A-. And I was like, oh, so I might not even have to do a certain ignore me. So yeah, I've been trying
Teacher's
to work on I've trying to work on that. But more importantly, this morning I met my brother's girlfriend for the first time.
Okay, DJ.
Yes.
Oh, DJ.
Yes. We had a little breakfast at my mom's house.
She go to the college?
Huh?
She go to the college?
Yeah, they go to the same college.
Okay.
And my mom made breakfast, so we got to meet her and talk to her, and I like her, y'all. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry, another question. Did she came home with, or did she live in Atlanta, or?
No, she lives in Memphis.
What?
She literally came here to meet us and visit us and spend time with us. So,
well, what part of Memphis does she live in? Because that's a big qualifier.
I'm not sure. She lives not far from my brother, where they go to school, and they go to Rhodes College. So wherever Rhodes is.
Yeah, because y'all know I'm from Memphis, right? Like.
Oh, well, wherever Rhodes College is. I've never even been to Rhodes. I will be going one time next May for the graduation.
Yeah.
And I've only been to Memphis one time outside of that. So.
Well, if she lives in Germantown, or Bartlett, she's a good girl. If she lives in Orange Mound, oof, she got gang affiliations.
I don't know where she's from, but she's very smart, and she has aspirations to be a neurosurgeon. So go for it, Sister Erica.
Well, yeah, he's right. Memphis is pretty rough, and I survived and got out, and I look like this.
So
yeah, that's what I've been doing this morning. I actually just got in before we started recording. So yeah.
Gotcha. That's all right. All right. Well, cool beans. Well, hopefully Kellie is blessed and highly favored wherever she may be.
Getting her hair done.
Yeah, she's sitting in a chair somewhere.
But she gonna be fine when she get out that chair. Okay.
You know, I'm doing okay. You know, nothing big about me. Same old, same old. But we do have a special guest in the building. This is a guy who I've known for, I'm sure, majority of the 32 years I've been alive. I'm sure our parents have known each other even longer than that.
Man, before we were born.
Right, you know. So it's another one of those guys, you know, we love to bring him on. He is a PK double time. Both his parents are preachers. Y'all give it up for Richmond McIntyre III. Better known as Trey.
What's
Trey,
up?
what's poppin', man?
That's the whitest name I've heard on a black man since Chadwick Boseman. All right,
Richmond.
Richmond.
It's
Richmond.
Richmond E. McIntyre III.
But Trey, what's good though, man? You know, man, catch us up, man. How you been? What you been up to these days, and you know, in life?
Just been working, getting ready for a job change, and
where you working and where you changing to?
UPS. I'm going to this company called KGP. It's another warehouse. And I've been trying to get together, like I'm putting together like a a workout booklet program to kind of like not tell my story, but give people like health tips and all this kind of stuff. Because I was a big boy when I was younger, but now I cut up in and did my thing.
You're still big now. Now you're just muscular. You're not necessarily small right now, but I get your point. You were definitely on the more heavy set side when you were younger.
Yeah, man. I was a big boy.
Right.
But I just want everybody feel healthy about themselves, because in my transition, I wasn't really happy about myself, but doing my own thing. I just want everybody be happy about themselves. It's all about self-confidence.
Let's dig more into that. Like, so talk to us. Like, what was the turning point for you when you wanted to lose weight?
Break up.
Break up? Okay, wow.
Yeah, if you ask any gym rat or any health conscious person, it's always like a low point in their life. A love loss, a loved one passing away, or breakups, or those kind of things. But yeah, I just want everybody be healthy about themselves, and it's okay to go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Finish.
Like, it's okay to eat, the fast food and whatnot, but you also gotta, get your proper nutrients in, because it's all about longevity in the end run.
I just thought it was funny that you said a breakup, because there's this great video on YouTube about how to lose weight in 4 easy steps, and the first step is work out, the second step is eat it better, the third step is get your heart broken. And then there's this long diatribe about this guy who he was actually one of the guys from SNL, about how the girl breaks his heart, so he just stays at the gym, just like you're saying, like all the time. He's like, I'll show you, and like you need that fire,
Yeah. But
was it?
I guess. Go ahead.
When I was gonna say, was it when you were doing it because of the breakup? Were you trying to, like, okay, first question, did y'all break up as a result of your weight or your appearance or anything?
No. Well, it was just two different states, long distance, that end result.
But you did want to shit on her when y'all broke up. Right?
Actually, no. I just felt real bad. And, I would go out with my homeboys, and, they would get all the girls, and I'd be like, I was a little jealous. So I was like, okay, well, I can't hate on them, because they, they got their game together. So let me just lay low, go in the lab, get my shit together, and, we're going to get it popping.
I'm with you today, Rudy.
Gotcha.
It's Saturday. It's Saturday, but no, it's funny. It's like half the time because I've gone through those periods too, where I just, somebody wrecks your life, and then it's like half of you wants to work out and get buff and then make them jealous, but the other half is like, maybe she'll come back now.
Oh no, if they gone, they gone. It is what it is.
So you don't go backwards, huh?
I got my heart broken, and now low key I'm a heartbreaker.
and that's what I was actually just getting ready to ask. I was about to say, so what? How has how has the transition in that category?
It's been a roller coaster. I mean, it is what it is, man. I take what I can get. I take what I can get, because it's not even about looks anymore. If you just listen to a woman, regardless, I mean, ain't no telling what could happen. So whatever happens, happens. Like, life is just taught me.
Did it boost your confidence though? When you out with the homies now, like how you used to feel shameful, did it go ahead and be like you feel like you the man when you walk through?
Oh yes, I do. I'm not even gonna lie, because so I was 6'4", big, but now I'm like 6'4" and like diesel. So it's just like everywhere I go now, I'm a giant, and I don't give a fuck who looking. I'm walking up in this bit, chest out, head up, like, it is what it is. What's up?
It's not, what it is? It's not even your appearance. It's the confidence level. because when you're
Yeah.
out of shape or you're overweight, you're not feeling confident. But when you change things and you get lighter, then your confidence changes and you just naturally become more attractive because you're more
Well, yeah.
secure with who you are, you know?
Well, along with, getting physically stronger, I had to learn, it's all about the mind as well. Mentally stronger is a whole different level of strength that, that I'm incorporating right now. And so I'm reading this book, to be a man. And it says to, I guess, be one with yourself as a man. You have to be at one with your shame and your ego. Once you're at peace with your shame and your ego, it opens up a whole nother level of power that you can't really, you know it's just one of them things. So I was just like, wow. So
It's
I'm
kind of
just,
like if you accept who you are fully, no one
yeah.
else can say anything negative to you to shame you because you're good with you, flaws and all.
If
So,
you really want to
go
experience ego death, I recommend mushrooms and lots of them.
ahead.
At least 5 to 7 grams of mushrooms at once, and your ego will die. I
Mhm.
promise. I've done it myself.
But yeah,
Just,
getting mentally tougher
just to let you know,
is
Trey,
another.
not to cut you off, but on this Preacher's Kid podcast, we don't suggest Jesus. We suggest mushrooms for your problem. Like if you,
One
I
of the
suggest
other. It's
Jesus.
drugs or Jesus. Pick one. That's
Janessa suggests Jesus and not mushrooms.
we
you want to,
we
Can I
we
get both?
did.
Can I get Jesus and mushrooms?
we
Can I
don't
get a
No.
put
Jesus
Jesus.
mushroom?
We put
Hey,
shrooms. That's our.
mushrooms are from the earth. You know, it's natural.
That's what I'm
Jesus
saying.
put this here for you and me.
Yeah.
Can I get a Jesus mushroom? How about that?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
go
I'm
ahead,
sure
though.
you can for about $100 a gram.
But go ahead, though, Trey. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
But just being self-disciplined has really taught me that no matter what you go through, if you just keep your head low, not let your ego get the best of you, and you just continue to work regardless of what you want out of life, you're gonna get it. No matter how long it takes, it's not a sprint; it's a marathon. And learning that has helped me to like just stop for a second and just breathe. If you just stop what you're doing, if you're having a tough situation and you breathe, you inhale for 10 seconds, exhale for 10 seconds, it'll come to you.
Gotcha.
It'll come to you. I low key and turn into a hippie because I'm starting to get into like vibrations and frequencies and
Right.
You came to the right place.
I think
Prayer is nothing but
300,
a form of meditation.
yeah, like 300 some odd megahertz or 432 megahertz is, helps your vibrations with the energy of not just yourself, but, the world. And now how I see people, everybody has an aura. Everybody has an aura. And, with the aura, it gives and take. And because I am who I am, I feel like sometimes people will feed off my aura without me even knowing. And I think, it's just one of those things. So I'm conscious of who I'm around now or who I give my energy to because I'm like, man, my energy is precious right now. Like, there's a whole nother level of energy over here. I don't know what the hell
All
that
right,
is.
you went a little too hippie for me. I'm out. I'm pulling the ripcord on this thing.
So even with that being said, which you get into the vibrations and the stuff like that, like where are you? Not you don't have to necessarily, I guess, make a comparison, but where are you in reference to like just say like church, your church life, your
Oh man,
spiritual life, because you just to kind of give any of our listeners who don't know you, I guess backstory, like he's new beginning kid. We kind of bring up new beginning a lot. He's definitely somebody who grew up, in that youth ministry, who, like I said, was in church his whole life, whatever like that.
And before Trey starts, I also forgot to mention this, that Trey's father was in my parents' wedding.
Yeah.
Like, that's how far back it goes. And they know each other. They know each
he
other
ordained
from
in
church.
wedding?
Yeah, your dad was a groomsman and was my dad's groomsman.
Oh man, yeah. So we got deep ties.
Yes, and they met at church. So obviously, Trey, like you said, when you were saying, yeah, or Rudy, what you were saying, we've known each other probably since birth. Like literally, our parents have known each other.
Yeah. So this ain't.
Before we were born.
I know it's so
when
weird. Rudy's my father, believe it or not. You
Yeah.
know, it's
That's right.
He is. So when we're talking about your backstory, like you really go deep in the church and everything. So
Well,
Like I said,
you
in both,
know,
sorry, one last cutoff. And both of your parents, just to reiterate again, are preachers. Like, most of us on here is just our dad.
you know, my dad is the Baptist, so whoever
Right,
getting
right.
baptized in the church,
Right.
my dad
Your
doing
right.
it.
Your dad, right. He wasn't baptizing folks.
And then
yeah,
you
absolutely.
got my mama over here who's a deacon, but she's getting invited to come doing sermons at church. And then, she has her little crowd that, is me, Miss Ramona, my cousin Vanna, Miss Ramona's mother. So we got our own little posse because ain't nobody finna run up on my mama. These church folk crazy, man. But my views on church have changed drastically over the years. It is not necessarily the religion. It's more to do with the people in the church. Okay, to kick things off, offering. I mean, I don't know the Bible that well, but to say you need to give 10% of your check, I'm just like, where does that say in the Bible?
well, that's tithes, actually.
Well, but I'm saying though, how do people know to give 10% of your check or your gross pay?
Because that's just what the word tithe. That's just what it means. A tenth. So really, and when I'm putting a disclaimer, I'm not that guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not that guy when it comes down to the Bible. So I'm not finna sit here and act like I'm about to just drop some TD Jake's knowledge on you. That's not what's gonna happen. But
that's my job.
but the word tithe does mean tenth, and so when it comes down to a certain point in time in life before they had monetary dollars, even if they had cattle or whatever, like it was a tenth of your earnings. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that looks like. But now for us, a check. But you also can tithe other things. You can tithe your time. You can tithe whatever. Like you can
sacrifice a goat, whatever you want to do.
You can put it in different forms, but because how in our today's time our earnings is in dollars, our tithe is more catered to that because that's where.
But that does get manipulated by the church because, like he said, offering, like because you're supposed to pay your tithes biblically, but then offering would be additional. That's.
But I'm saying, but the Bible says tithe and offering. Though. It says pay tithe and offering. So it never specifies how much offering has to be. Tithe is the only specification, but is also included. That's not like just something the church made up. Is what I'm saying. Go ahead.
My thing is, if that's the case, why shame people if they don't give X amount of dollars?
Now that's a great point. That's a great point.
And I think that's why people, stop coming to church, in my opinion, because church was supposed to be this place of non-judgment and non-shame. But on the flip side, that's where the most judgment and shame is at.
Right.
Well, there is a story in the Bible, and I know I'm going to get railed on this because I always do. But there is a story in the Bible that kind of addresses that, which is, you had these wealthy men that would come in, they would drop 10% of their silver, or they would drop 10% of their gold in the offering. And they, according to Jesus, they were not as godly as the woman who put in her only 2 copper coins. You know what I mean? So it's less to do with a dollar figure, and it more has to do with that leap of faith, I think.
And to your point, Trey, before you go, I agree with the whole point about as far as the shaming about the dollar amount. Even when it's like it's like indirect shaming, because like we've all seen where they be like, if tonight you can give $100, I want you to line up in this middle aisle. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who able to pay $100 line up in this middle aisle, and it's like, so the rest of us sitting down, we just got to sit here and look like broke motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Because you done stood up everybody who got the bread in church. You know what I'm saying? And they getting acknowledgement for their big contribution. And even if somebody else give a even bigger contribution, you know what I'm saying? Tyler Perry, whoever.
There's that ego again.
They like they get recognition for that as opposed to everybody just giving. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that type is. So that's why I was saying I agree. But go ahead though, sir.
You take them mushrooms. That's ego right there.
I guess this is just my opinion, but I feel as though when it comes to money, the church uses fear as a tactic by saying if you don't give X amount of this, you're not going to get this out of life. And I completely disagree. I feel as though if you work for it, regardless of, you have to fail your way to success. That's what I come to realize. You're going to fail your way to success. And I just realized probably like a couple of years ago. So when I hear, the church saying, oh, if you don't get this, you're not going to get that. I'm like, I really can't get behind that. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my opinion.
Are they, let me ask you this. Are they saying that you won't get it? Or are they saying that if you do it, you're guaranteed something?
Because
that's seed faith nonsense.
Hold on one second. The reason why I'm saying that is because I know for a fact that I personally have heard like it be taught in reference to like, if you tithe, you will get this as a result. Like, you'll have more than you can handle, whatever the case may be. But with that being said, that does make it easy for me to automatically assume that if I don't tithe, then I won't have access to that. So that's why I'm asking, did they specifically say that you won't have access to it? Like, is it because they preach you will get this? We automatically, feel like we won't get it because.
I'm just they like saying if you don't tithe, you're not going to get it. That's my thing. And I'm just like, I don't know, because I feel as though people will pray for something but won't do the work, and I think both of those have to go together. You have to pray and do the work, and I think some people get caught up in the prayer and not the work. So you got prayer here, work here, and those two got to be right here, for it to all mesh together.
Well, if you're doing the work, why you need the prayer?
Well, I'm just saying, both of them.
But what if tithing? What if stuff like tithing is part of the work? Like while you're praying, part of the work is tithing as well.
That's a good point. That's
and I'm not trying to be an advocate or nothing like that, but like I definitely know that people in the church, people in any industry, do fuck when it comes down to money. You know what I'm saying? And trying to get more money. But as far as the principles, I think that the Bible teaches, it definitely teaches gifts, tithe and offering. And as a result, like if you do this, like God will bless you this certain way. I've never read a scripture that said that if you don't do it, you won't get it. But like I said, I guess maybe it's safe to assume. But in general, I don't think that the system, I think that God's setup is the incorrect one. I just think how people carry it out is where it gets messed up. I guess is the point that I'm trying to make.
I might sound dumb for saying this. So what do you say about successful atheists?
Well, no. But not receiving the blessing that God has doesn't mean you can't have success. But it's just like, what if you make $1 billion on your own, but God had 40 billion if you went this route type thing? You feel what I'm saying?
Elon Musk is an atheist, so
no,
he's the richest man in the world.
Plenty of rich people don't believe in God. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying in reference to, I don't think that you cannot not reach success without believing in God, because you're here on earth where like this is an earthly experience. Like you can do earthly work ethic things and whatever, and you can have success as a result of it. But in reference to what God has for you, whatever that may be, I'm not saying it's a dollar amount. I'm just saying whatever it is, whatever that thing is, you will never receive if you don't go about this particular way.
I'm taking a different route on this whole thing because we've talked about this before about can you be super successful and still Christ-like? We did that one before, but no, I think that the absolute reward that you get is not caring how successful you are. That's the best reward, is just being content and happy with what you have and where you are. I think that's the real reward.
Yeah,
I agree.
no, that's
You know.
Richmond agrees.
Thing and a half.
that's stupid. I'm
know,
saying
Rudy.
I get not wanting a bunch of like monetary physical things, but for me, I definitely care how successful I am. Like if I get on stage and I'm telling jokes, like I don't want to go up there and bomb. I care how successful I am. If I take a test, I don't want to get an F. I want an A. I care how successful I am. So for me,
well, no, those are accomplishments. That's not gains. You're not talking about wealth.
I'm taking this test to gain something, to get a degree, whatever the case may be. So like I'm not trying to have a degree, but only got it with a 2.0. I would much prefer my transcripts to say 3.5 or whatever the case may be. If that's the route that I'm going to try to get a job and use that. So I'm saying,
but you're talking about something different. You're talking about skills now, and that's different.
But I'm saying even when if I was the biggest businessman in the world, I don't. Yes, I agree that it should not matter to me if I'm number one, but in reference to me caring how the level of success, I think it matters because honestly, the more success you have, the more leverage you have to help people. Now, do people necessarily always do that? No, but if you're given influence and people will follow what you do on a large scale, just like Jesus did when he was walking around doing his thing, I think,
which he did penniless, by the way.
But that's what I'm saying. But I'm not saying success as far as a dollar amount, but I'm saying he still did what he did at a high level, which is why he didn't need money, because people let him stay in the house. They're going to cook for him, wash his feet. They're going to do all these type of things because, what I'm saying? Like, it mattered how successful he was at what he did.
I always say never try and gather money, because money is easily lost. What you should be trying to gather is skills, because skills you never lose, and skills will always make money.
I feel as far as on the money side, I'm with you. I'm just saying in reference to like success in general. I think everybody should dominate their field.
I would like to point out: have we even gotten to the topic yet?
he is the topic. He the one brought this up.
All right.
There is no. We're not going to exercise.
So before you go on stage, you prepare for your show, right? Like you put in those hours of prep time so that when you go on stage, you have everything under control.
No, Rudy does crowd work, so he does the exact opposite of that.
Even with
I do that. I put in hours of work.
Even with my written jokes, my preparation is from going on stage. You know what I'm saying? So like me constantly getting on stage is putting in the time, because like I think of jokes all the time in my head, but when I actually say out to people, them shits don't always be funny. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the actual when it comes down to comedy, for me, it's the actual execution that you get the result of what you're looking for. But enough about me. So outside of the money, what else I guess are you looking at differently now that you're older?
It's just like, wow. It's just so much drama in the church, man. It was even.
I hear you.
Even now, with today's society, it's just, jeez. Like it's been a minute since I've been to church myself, but the way social media has portrayed like these pastors, I hate to go back to the money, doing all these jets and Rolls Royces while their members are sick and whatnot. I'm just like
Creflo Dollar.
But let me ask you this, Trey. What gives the rappers or actors the right to do it or athletes the right to do it as well? Because they're literally making money off the same people, and they get to drive their stuff as opposed to helping these same people who support them.
Well, they're the rappers and stuff. They're not trying to get people to heaven. They're not claiming for that.
I'm not talking, but I'm saying, but you having a Rolls Royce and taking that money and helping somebody else, that doesn't necessarily have to be a heaven or hell thing. That could just be the fact of you using your money in a better way. And I'm saying,
but
that expectation.
There were some rappers like I don't know if I'm correct on this, but I think Young Dolph helped out his neighborhood.
For sure. I mean, some do, just like I'm sure some pastors do. But I'm saying, well,
yeah. See, I'm not going to categorize,
sure.
all the preachers together, but look at Joel Osteen. There was a flood, and that man wouldn't let the people in the church.
Well, think about this, Rudy. When Jesus enlisted the disciples, the fishermen left their nets. You know what I mean? Like, and that was a valuable thing to have back then. That wasn't just a net; that was a career. But they left the nets. They didn't pack them up and take them with them.
I don't get what that has to do with something.
Meaning, like, if you're trying to truly be in the service of God, then everything you have should be secondary. Everything you should have should be secondary to that. So if you're driving a Rolls Royce, that's a house you didn't buy for the poorest in your community. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying the pastor should be in the Rolls Royce. What I'm saying is, I feel like everybody else who does it should be held to the same scrutiny, because
agreed.
If you're, because once again, we say, how can the pastor be, living one way, but then the congregation isn't? These are people who follow this person. Okay, well, all these different influencers, people follow them and they invest in them and they buy their products and they buy their tickets or whatever like that. And them same people, they may, donate to a school here or whatever like that, but they're not taking the bulk of their money and putting it back into the community. Think about movie studios.
But they're not claiming to be in charge of people's souls either.
But I'm saying, it's still, I'm just saying in reference to right or wrong. I'm not saying what you claim to be in charge of. Like, I'm supporting you, but I'm also struggling. I'm supporting you through my struggle. And a movie studio, they'll take $600 million to make a movie just so they can make billions. But they're not necessarily giving $600 million worth towards, helping the people who helped them even get that $600 million.
That's entertainment. That's different.
What I'm saying is these are people who are doing the same thing, is what I'm saying. So why isn't everybody else the same thing?
Because it's entertainment, not spirituality.
It's I agree with him, because it's a pastor. A pastor's supposed to be this noble leader of God, self-righteous, selfless individual who doesn't, but on the flip side, people like the way, he preaches, so they bless him with their money. So I see both sides of it. I see both sides.
Because here's the thing: if you give an extra offering to, say, a preacher that you like, you're essentially giving him that money, saying, "Hey, I want to help you spread your word." You know what I mean? Like, I want to help you gain more followers. And then you see him in a Cadillac, and you're like, "Wait a minute, that's not why I gave you that." You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, even though I feel as though the money should go help to build up the church, because I feel like in actuality, the church is a business, and that's how I feel.
Yeah, that's how Richmond feels. That's right. I'm not calling you Trey.
What?
You gonna call me by my government name, really?
It's fancy, and I like it.
What pressures did you deal with growing up, Trey, in reference to, like, in your household, coming up under, your daddy being John the Baptist, your mama being, one of the most dominant people in the choir who can lead a song and tear the church up.
And she can bake like no other.
I mean, bake cakes. Like,
oh yeah, the cakes. I blame my mom for getting big. I feel like I was a test subject when I was growing up, because she had a bakery downtown.
Oh, she need to bring that back. Bring it back.
Nah. It was in an old complex downtown. But man, you talk about strict. If I got a whooping, so I went to a Christian academy from like kindergarten to 3rd grade. So if I messed up at school, I would get a ruler in the hand, then get home, get whooped by my daddy. No, mama first, and then my daddy. So that's 3 whoopings in one day.
At least you only got the ruler on the hand. When I was in school, you got paddled by the principal. Like,
no. Okay,
it was crazy.
It was both. It was both.
Yeah,
because that was back then. They were allowed to, discipline the children.
That's when your parents could tell the teacher if they do something wrong, hit them.
Yeah, I remember being in the 4th grade and getting paddled by the principal in his office, just the two of us. And I remember thinking, like, this doesn't feel appropriate. this don't feel right.
You're not hitting Larnell kids. I'm just saying that.
Yeah. Oh, but my family did psychological. My family was more psychological.
She gonna beat her own kid's ass.
Like I got home one day. I was in trouble at school, and my mom did the classic, like, well, you wait till your dad gets home. You wait till your dad hears about this. But Dad came home super late that night. And so I was already asleep. And I remember being in bed thinking, like, whew, dodged that bullet, got away with this one. Got up the next morning. Dad's already at the church. I go to school. Lunchtime comes. I open up my lunchbox. My dad had written a note to me saying, "You're getting it when you get home. You know that, right?" And I was like, dude, I am in 5th grade. This is not cool.
Oh, man.
You talk about that's fine. I got him back.
Jeez.
He was going out of town a month later. And the night before he was leaving, I said, I got a bad feeling. I don't think you should get on the flight.
What else?
And he was just racked with anxiety for that entire trip. So we were psychologically damaging, you know.
But getting whoopings in a black household can be a mixture of electrical cords to go out and get a switch. But if you get the wrong switch, you get it worse.
Right. Don't get the dry brown one. All right, you better get the green
little one either.
Yeah,
it's gotta have elasticity. You gotta hear this.
Well, just think about that. Think about the psychological damage that does to a child when they're like, "Go pick the weapon of your demise. Like, you bring it to me so I can beat you with it." That's on a whole different level.
So, how do you feel children should be disciplined?
I don't know. I don't have any kids.
But if you had kids, how would you discipline them?
That's a good question.
Trey, like, because I'm beating ass when I have.
Well, and that's fine. Like, I get that instinct because I famously got spankings every day.
Trey, like, my granddaddy got his ass beat. My daddy got his ass. I'm Richmond the third.
Yeah.
Richmond the first got his ass beat. Richmond the second got his ass beat. The third got his ass beat. I'm Richmond the fourth gonna get his ass beat. We keeping this thing going.
No, I would think I would probably be more reasonable, just because I would feel like if I was doing it, it would be out of my own frustration or my own anger, which is the wrong way to do it. So I
take
think
your chargers and batteries.
I think I would try to be a little more creative. I would take away things that I knew that they loved, whatever that thing may be. I'd be like, see, this is the punishment, you know, or I would take away something that I knew was important to them. And just say, see, this is when you do this happens. It's cause and effect. You know, so if you enjoy what you're doing and you enjoy, like, say, your freedom, right? It's the same way the justice system looks at it. If you enjoy your freedom, you have to do this, this, and this. And if you step outside that, we're going to take that one thing that you really love away from you.
But I guarantee.
But again, I don't have any kids. I don't know. I trained a dog once. That's about it.
Janessa, real quick before you go. But I guarantee you, if the law start beating ass, I guarantee the jail will be more empty. If niggas was getting their ass beat in jail, like I ain't talking about like getting jumped. I'm talking about like lining their ass up and hitting them with a paddle. Way less niggas that want to be in jail. They'll shit together. But because
I think they do that in jail already. Like, they just do it with their penises.
When we take away only the freedom, they don't be caring about that shit. They'll just go in there and just be reckless in there. But go ahead, Janessa.
What's the old saying? A hard head make a soft ass.
Right.
Well,
a lot of people make a hard ass.
I got whoopings too, but my parents, like my parents were on the nose with their punishment. So I remember one time I had this huge argument. I was supposed to take the trash out and I didn't want to do it. And you know how your parents be like, I dare you to say it one more time. And
but I always would.
I went for it. Like this day, I chose violence. I went for it.
Oh,
And so
man.
it went from take the trash out tonight to take the trash out for a week to, let's just say by the end of it, y'all, I was in middle school. My punishment was to take the trash out every time the trash came until I graduated high school. And guess who took the trash out until they graduated high school? Me. And so, I might have tried it a couple of times when they'll be like, I bet you won't say it again. And I'll be like, and then I remember real quick. And then I just be like, okay. And so, I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more real good one. Jessica, my mom had made liver. Now, I love liver and onions. Jessica does not.
What?
Look, it's good for your health, okay?
Yeah. I can get vitamins other places.
My mom told Jessica she had to sit at that table until she ate her food. Jessica thought she was playing. Why was Jessica sitting at the table at 3:30 in the morning? Until she ate that food. Like, that's how my parents are. So, at a certain point, whoopings kind of didn't work anymore because we were too big.
Well, that's like Chad Daniels. Chad Daniels is a comedian. He has a bit. He says, well, I made dinner. And they say, well, I don't like that. And he goes, okay, well, you don't have to eat it, but it's going to be here at breakfast. He says, and when I make your lunch, if you still haven't eaten it, it's in your lunch. That is your next meal, right?
Yes.
Unless you want to get your own money and supply that, that's going in your face next before anything else. But
Trey, what other?
But I was gonna say,
Terry.
Yeah.
You want me to ask this man a question?
All right, but we're still on the spanking thing.
This man is a guest.
I had a good story about the spanking.
You can tell us next week.
Right.
So what else in reference to, like, you said the strictness of your household? So you got spankings, but like in reference to anything else, your. Even better question. At what point were you able to, have your now belief that you have now?
I mean, so you remember Boys to Men?
For sure.
Oh yes.
No, not the singing group. It was a mentorship program they had at our church.
Okay.
So, Terry, he was in there for a minute.
That was my youth. That was all my middle school. Go ahead.
I feel as though they. So I know what the Bible says about sex and whatnot, but in real life, I feel as though they could have done a lot better to prepare us. Like, I know they said, you're supposed to wait until marriage, but, we was getting things popping in high school, and I feel as though they should have, just at least been real with it. Like, you're going to do that, use protection. Be mindful, don't be out here doing X, Y, and Z with, anybody. And I feel as though they could have really, really made an impact on, some of our lives. Like, as far as women, alcohol, drugs, they really didn't touch that. And I feel as though, some of the guys coming through high school and just growing up as men could have used that, guidance in a real life scenario. Like, I appreciate the church standpoint, but the real life standpoint, we was out here doing X, Y, and Z, and I felt like we could have had, a little bit more guidance.
And I think
couldn't agree more.
I think also one of the things that the church really does skip over, and we're talking about individual people, they want to tell us to do not do X, Y, and Z, and all the scriptures that go with it.
But it's the way of the world.
But it completely ignored the fact that they had little Johnny before they got married to Deacon Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all acting like y'all wasn't fornicating, y'all wasn't drinking, just because maybe you don't do it now at the tender age of 70, and the last time you had a drink was 25 years ago. Clutch your pearls. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're acting like you've never ever had a sip of alcohol in your life, like you've never been to a club, you've never dropped it like it's hot. Like,
Janessa, you know what it is? It's they think they're setting a good example by ignoring all the sins of their past. They think they're setting a good example, but they're not. They're setting an incredibly impossibly high bar to try and meet.
For failure.
You're setting them up for failure.
A standard that they don't even measure.
They could never live up to. And they think they're setting a good example, but they're not. They're setting an impossibly high bar that they're bound to fail.
Like, I wish they would have, taught us more financial advice when we was younger.
Well, that
Like,
would
if
have
I had to
helped.
pick one out of finance, sex, drugs, or alcohol, I would take finance. You
Well,
know,
of course,
Let me,
because it influences all the other things you said.
so let me
yeah.
so let me
Can't
ask
get
you
drugs
this.
if you broke.
So let me ask you this. So why did you choose the route of kind of saying fuck this as opposed to just implementing how you feel, right? Because you're now the adult. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not
Yeah.
like we're not youths anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's you don't necessarily have to operate how you know were taught and you think something's wrong, but there you can simply just be the change you want to see or whatever they say. I don't know the full,
Because
but
temptation. I mean, when you got your first sip of alcohol, how it make you feel, how you hit your first blunt, when you first time you got high, when you popped your cherry and you weren't a virgin no more. Once you experience those feelings,
Oh,
it's like a rush. You
yeah,
know,
that's the one that got
no. But
me.
I'm saying when I say be the change you want to see, I'm saying you be the adult that talks to the youth about all these things that you're saying that we were
oh, I would definitely,
it was
I would
handled wrong
definitely
with us.
share my, I would definitely share my knowledge, with some young men about how, women or the
Wait,
drugs
what
or
did
the
he say? I couldn't
alcohol.
hear it.
He's talking about them hoes.
Trey, 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 you got to speak up.
My bad, can you hear me?
Yeah, just you might have, I don't know, you got to lean closer to your phone or something, but just talk a little bit louder.
Well, I got my headphones. I don't know if they work or not,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, I would definitely tell some young men about real life situations and how you should go about it.
Right.
And the irony of those church trips is just like, whoo, whoo. Them church trips was something else. Because we supposed to be we supposed to be learning this way, but we on the far left or the far right doing X, Y, and Z. And I mean,
but I feel like what else can you expect? Like if you like
exactly.
you're taking like whatever 30 plus, like teenage
Teenagers.
Yeah.
kids, and
Oh, we did a.
you're putting them in hotels and like you talking about chaperones. It's like one adult to like every
One for like
seven,
eight.
yeah,
One for 8.
seven or 8 people. Like niggas is gonna get away with shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And then
and then there's kids from other churches from all over the
Any
United States, all over the globe, damn near. You know what I'm saying?
every
Like,
guy in my church knew that any church function was the
hold on,
place to
hold
get
on.
laid. All
No, but
right.
I'm saying, it wasn't the church. It wasn't like this was something like as far as like our every Sunday thing. I'm talking about like when we had our like annual conferences and stuff like that, where everybody from
man,
the denomination that we
Oh, I
were
know.
come, like
Oh yeah.
that. But I get what I mean. You want because the adults are going to attend, so you can either
obviously.
like leave the kids at home and let them do what they're going to do anyways, or you can at least put them in a church environment where even if they do screw in the hotel the night before, they may catch the spirit in service on Friday.
You
Man,
might
that's what it was.
you might as
You
well
know what
just
I'm
call it a
saying?
singles mixer then.
Hey,
You know?
admit every time we went to the conference, something always happened as far as on the spiritual side. You know what I'm saying? Like it was always people being slain
Like,
in the spirit, crying, breakthroughs, whatever, blah blah
and then
blah.
later that night,
Even
later that
as
night.
even though the night before or the 2 nights before or whatever, they may have been into some.
Well, you took a teenager to a place they didn't want to go to, and then you said, "Here,
No, we
hang out with
wanted to
all these
go.
other
No,
teenagers that
Oh no,
don't want to be
we
here
wanted to
either."
go.
no. We wanted to go. No, we wanted.
Oh,
Well, yeah, but you
especially
didn't
New
want to go to
Orleans.
be there. You wanted to go to be with the other people,
No,
right?
we grew up in church. So I mean, like we didn't mind the church services because it was like youth services. So like it was catered to
Yeah,
us.
like
So
we
it
would have
wasn't like
Yep.
conferences or
it
like
wasn't.
classes during the day.
So,
Yeah,
so like ours was every summer in Florida, right? And it was in this camp called Wayamama, right?
No. This ain't like a camp like that. This is like
Yeah.
this is literally like a
I mean I know
A
what
retreat.
conferences are.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it would be different places like New Orleans for a while, maybe
Baltimore.
Detroit, Baltimore, Arizona.
Went
Like
to
it just be
Canada.
I get it, but you're basically just taking kids to a singles mixer, you know?
Even if you wasn't safe. it was,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, Trey, so this is what I want to ask you. So outside of church, when it comes down to just you and God, like your relationship with God, like what does that look like?
Oh man, I got some work to do. Me and the big fella up there, yeah, we got some work to do. I've strayed away. I'm not even gonna lie.
I
I've
feel
strayed
you.
away.
As far as your actions, or as far as like you going to him
Oh
when something's wrong, like you don't pray no more, like you don't bless your food.
no.
What you mean? What's going?
I'm gonna be talking to myself, and when I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to God. But as far as reading the Word every day, like I'm supposed to, yeah, I've slipped on that. Like I said, I was gonna read a book of Psalm every day.
Right.
Haven't done it
Mm-hmm.
because it feels like everything that I read now comes to fruition, and God work on a whole different level of power. So it's just like, ugh, I'm kind of nervous.
You got to remember, you to find him, you got to seek him. Like he ain't coming for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But even if you stray away, he'll welcome you back with open arms. So it's
But
it's
you got
me.
to go through the
It's me.
door. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I know.
you. Yeah.
I mean, is it something that's keeping you away, or like it's just because it's just not on your mind right now?
It's not on my mind. But every day I do, say a prayer, thanking God, I'm grateful for what I have, and I'm grateful for what's coming to me. I'll say that one little prayer every day.
Right.
I feel as though it covers valid points. It lets him know that I'm grateful for, the family, what I have, and, I'm grateful for what's coming to me. Right. So I do my prayer part, but as far as reading the Word, I've gotten away from it.
Gotcha.
I gotta get back up on it.
Was the last church you was at was New Beginning? Did you go anywhere after New Beginning before you stopped going to church?
I started going to Berean.
Okay.
Berean was pretty cool.
Shout out Kellie not being here. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm like.
Yeah, she's talking about she's gonna be late.
Because currently he remembered me. I was like, oh, because my daddy know everybody.
For sure.
Everybody know my daddy. So and then what I liked about that church, you had 3 services. You had the early morning, mid morning, then the afternoon. I would catch the afternoon in at 12, out by 2. So I feel though I should start going back, or at least catch it on the live stream. Because it's a church on Counter Road. I forget the name of it.
St. Philip.
But yeah, no.
It's on the corner. It's a big church.
Greater Travelers Rest, something.
Oh, that's off of Flat Shoals and
Oh, okay.
Where Flat Shoals and Flakes Mill split. That's over here by me.
Greater Travelers Rest. I've heard
Dewey
good things about that one. Yeah, but it's been on me. I got to get back in, church and read my Bible. But I stay prayed up though. I'll say a prayer for anything, because I be needing patience, man. People around me at work, I be like,
Well, Richmond, if you're with a girl, do you want her to tell her? Do you want her to tell you that she loves you, or do you want her to show you that she loves you?
Oh, I'll take showing over words any day.
Well, all right. Well, there you go. Stop. Prayer is just saying.
I realize that.
All right.
Actions speak louder than words.
Do your parents like pressure you as much now that you're older and in a man and on your own like it was when you were younger?
Nope. Nope. Not at all. It's like you old enough to make your own decisions. Whatever's happened at this point is between you and God. I think at a certain point, parents just be like, okay, I taught you what I could teach you, but from now on, you're on your own.
Push you out the nests.
I'm grateful for all their teachings and everything. I was like, wow, she really knew that. Wow, I really didn't know what I was doing. So it's one of the things that you realize when you get older. It's like, damn.
I
Okay, I
have a
see what she was
question
talking
for
about.
you. We kind of talked about this on the podcast once. So, we had a very dynamic church youth upbringing. And, maybe I'm not in tune with other youth ministries because, I don't have kids and I'm not a kid. But it just kind of seems like the whole culture of youth ministries have kind of fallen off over the years. It's not the same as when we
Oh,
were there. And so
because
when you do have kids, what type of environment are you going to try to put them in? Because my whole thing was I need to recreate my childhood because it was a bomb, minus a few things, But like
man,
I don't even know what it looks like. And like even watching my sister with her kids, they go to a church. The church does have like kids church, but it's during church service and it's there's no like, oh, we got choir rehearsal on Saturday or we got Bible
man,
study on
what
Wednesday. Like
was it?
I don't know.
It was Bible study on Wednesday, usher practice on Saturday, and then the final thing was on Sunday. And then you remember Fun Day? Fun
Oh
Day
yeah,
was the shit.
of
I
course
love Fun Day.
I do too.
Water guns, food, all that stuff. But I would try to teach both sides of it, the spiritual and the reality, because you have to do both. Because I feel
Or
as though when we was growing up, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
no, finish
Finish
what
it.
you're saying.
I feel as though you have to teach both sides because both sides are present at the moment. You're gonna have your spiritual moments and then you're gonna have your reality moments. You're gonna be in a situation where you and a girl want to get frisky or peer pressure with drugs or alcohol. And on the reality is like there's a time and place for everything. Just be mindful. You know, don't drink and drive. You know, so because I'm not in that situation, I really don't know.
Right.
I mean, because I've heard some people, tell their kids, "Yeah, my kid smokes weed, but they at the house with me." So just in case something happened, they don't get pulled over and profiled as a black man or a black woman, and next thing you know, you put her name on his or her name on the T-shirt or hashtag. So it's one of those things.
Or a
Again,
headstone.
So do you think?
Well, no, I was agreeing with what he was saying. Was what
No.
I was trying to agree with what he was saying was like, and not only that, but if you only do the spiritual and you only put the bar up so high and you never do reality, you're just inviting challenge later as they grow up and they start to engage with the world and they start learning on their own. And they're like, oh, you didn't tell me about any of this. And now some of this contradicts what you have told me before. So which one is you is right? And it just creates doubt. Like you're literally creating doubt later in their life.
yeah. So I mean, but go ahead.
I was gonna say, let me ask you this, and I guess I don't know if this puts like the pressure back on you or me or our generation, if you will. But do you the youth ministries have fallen off as a result of the youth itself, or is it the youth workers? Because I don't know about every church, but definitely at New Beginning, majority of them youth workers are the same youth workers that was there technically not before we was there.
30 years ago.
They was literally youth workers when we was born. They was youth workers all throughout our entire youth, throughout our adulthood, even till now. So,
I mean,
obviously, they can't connect with youth forever. Is what I'm saying.
well, like I said, there was drama in the church because you remember Dr. Maxine Hunt? Like she had a substantial. She had a like. It was easy to communicate with her because she was just so inviting. I feel as though with whatever I was going through, I could just talk to her. And so when she left, some of the church left. And then some people don't like the direction that, the bishop is going in. And
Right
so, again, I don't know what's going on. I know some stuff going on, but yeah, I think it's falling off. I mean, because I think the name of the game now is adjustment. You have to adjust to the times. Parents are getting younger. They're having children at a much younger age, which is, fine. But if you're going to have parents who are younger, you need to have youth workers who can, communicate with them people. You can't have a 70-year-old trying to communicate with a 72-year-old. It's just polar opposites. It's just polar opposites.
What do you mean they're
So
having families younger? My grandmother got married when she was 15. She had her first child at 16.
I'm not judging, but
these girls he talking about ain't married though.
Yeah. I'm talking about the unwed high school mothers. Yeah.
Which every situation is different. I'm not shaming nobody, but they can have a place to where, they can feel safe, going through that single mother time. But the church, I feel as though it's falling off in both ways. Yeah.
Wow.
So one final question before we get out of here. You as a PK, and us having the stigma as the worst one, this type of stuff like that. I guess you can give examples from childhood and even up, I guess, to adulthood, but whether it was from your parents or whether it was from people at church or whatever, like, did the PK stigma or even just being a preacher's kid, being Rick McIntyre's son or whatever the case may be, was there ever, I guess, just, did that ever mean anything when it came down to like your behavior, you not doing certain things or, posting certain things on social media, anything?
I was always, I guess in high school, I was just a shy, quiet dude, who played football, nothing serious.
Right.
I didn't try to tell people everywhere I go, oh, you need to read the Bible, you need to do X, Y, and Z and this. I'm like, I ain't do that,
That gets your ass kicked where I'm from.
Nah, man, I just chilled out. I didn't really try to. I mean, because you knew me in the church, so
right.
I was the same person in the church as I was outside of the church. Calm, cool, and collective.
Right.
That's how I was. So, to answer your question, no, it didn't influence me in a way, because I wouldn't try to pressure people, into, oh, if you don't save your soul, you going to hell, or condemning people. Nah, ain't doing all that.
The best thing I ever heard on that subject, I actually read. It was spray painted on the side of like a drainage pipe, and it said, "Jesus does love you." That's true. His people, on the other hand, have a different thing going. That's the difference between spirituality and church.
Well, yeah, because Jesus' love is for everybody.
Right. And love thinketh no evil.
Yeah.
Well, that's my father's favorite. My father's favorite verse is "Love thinketh no evil," but it means other people too. But there's a lot of people in the church that they still love the scandals, they still love the gossip, and that's what it is. They're looking at other people, finding the evil.
I'm like, man, like, because church, okay, regardless of the place or the structure, because man is involved, there's always going to be issues with power, ego, shame, whether it be a high-ranking deacon or a high-ranking, accountant in the church who has to say so on X, Y, and Z of what goes on. You always going to have power and ego. So it's just, it's just one of them things that people will have to learn to navigate. Right. And you won't see it unless you're that involved in the church. Like, once you get deep involved or in high ranking in the church is where you would see the actual, drama. Oh, Deacon Jones didn't come to my meeting. Okay, we got something for him. Right. Oh, Miss Shirley, I don't like her potato salad. It was nasty. Right. Petty stuff, man.
That's real.
And God forbid your son's on drugs or your daughter has an abortion. You can't even hold your head up high when you go in church then.
So
they're talking.
I remember running into one of our one of the guys I went to church with, like both of y'all know him, but I'm not gonna say his name. And he was just like, man, I don't like that church because they told my parents I'm a grow up to be nothing. I was just like, damn, that's kind of messed up to tell somebody in the church, their kids ain't gonna grow up to be nothing. I'm like, that's messed up.
Wow. That's worse than anything I've said on here.
So
you're gonna grow up to be nothing.
Or pastor said it of that church, or just a person in the church said it?
Oh, it was New Beginning. Because if I say it now, you could be like, oh, for real?
No, I mean, I figured I knew the church, but I'm just saying, like, was it the pastor or was it?
They had. No. It was.
It'd be hilarious if we said it from the pulpit. Like James is nothing. Like that.
Right.
It was somebody in the congregation. Everybody know everybody, and everybody.
Well, I mean, would you be willing to go somewhere else? I mean, it don't have to be New Beginning, man. It's a billion churches in Atlanta.
Oh no. I've definitely
go to New Piney Grove. I heard through the grapevine that they need help with their young adult ministry. The young adult leader wants.
I am not the best candidate for that.
Or you could just go into your closet and pray. Like you don't have to go to a place at all.
Not for that. Go to New Piney Grove.
You can take my role as choir president, the young adult choir.
Oh, no. Like I said, Janessa is a high-ranking official, so she runs.
Come over and be the young adult usher board chairman.
See, that's just asking for drama because they ain't telling who in their feelings or who feeling petty today or who woke up and chose violence and It's like really like shocking to hear, people in the church, I'm gonna be petty. And boy, when they be petty, they be petty.
Oh yes, I know.
I'd rather, stay a church member. That way I don't have to deal with that foolishness,
Well, you need to at least get back in that status. You ain't even that right now.
Oh yeah. I'm a definitely.
But this is a whole nother conversation that Trey kind of just touched on. There is a generation of church kids who want to be exactly what Trey just said, a church member. We have either been involved in church so much or our parents have been involved so much that we have said, you know what, y'all got it. That is not for me. And in doing so, there's like less people to replace these older people who do need to kind of move into the next direction that God has for them. And that's another kind of contributor to why we do have these 65-year-olds being the youth pastor.
Because they aren't willing to adjust. They're not willing to adjust to the time.
Well, you see that in everything. If you're older, you want things to go back to the way you used to know them at your prime.
But
you see that in politics too. You see it in politics, religion, everything. The younger people want things to progress to a new place. The older people want things to regress to an old place.
So where in the middle are they supposed to meet? Can there
they're not.
Be
they're
a
not
meeting in the middle?
No, they're not supposed to meet. If your kid is doing better than you should be happy about that. If your kid is thinking about things that you never thought about, if they're trying to solve problems that you never did, that's a good thing. That's the way it's supposed to be. Your son is supposed to supplant you. He's supposed to be better than you. And if your son isn't, and you feel like you're better than your kid, you're doing it wrong.
But not everybody has that mindset, especially in the church.
I know, and they're wrong.
That's
what I'm saying. They are wrong.
It's like, I don't know what's going on with New Beginning, but I'm just like, who's going to take the mantle of the next bishop? What kind of drama is it going to cause? Who's going to stay? Who's going to go?
McIntyre III.
Oh, dude.
Oh, Richie Rich.
Hey, so okay. Actually, this is my serious last question. Do you feel like you have any type of calling when it comes down to, when I say ministry?
I actually thought about it.
When I say ministry, I'm not talking about like ministry as far as they got to be preaching or anything that you've seen your dad, mom, whatever. I'm just saying, but just in reference to pushing the agenda of the kingdom forward, if you will. Like, do you feel like, do you have like a a calling when it comes down to that? Like God is calling you?
I had a thought. I was like, because this so I went to another church. Somebody invited me, and the pastor said, "I see something in you. God has called you to be a pastor." So I'm just looking at it like, what? Yep.
He said this to your face. He said this to your face.
Yeah, yeah. I was just like, what? And then it's been a few times. I like, I mean,
My dog finna be
I
a
could
pastor.
probably-
They gave you the pastor name, Richmond McIntyre III. Come on, man.
I'm like,
Yeah, you need a very colorful
what if I could
suit.
pull? What if I could? So what I was thinking, what if I could pull the fire from my mama and the water from my dad and mesh them together? What would happen?
Yeah. Hey, Pastor Trey.
And,
And take it to Thankful.
We ain't
oh, you talk about bringing up some roots.
Oh damn! That'll be a full circle little moment. That'll be.
Well, I was just wondering whether the fire would put out the water, or whether the water would turn, or the fire would turn the water to steam. I'm trying to figure out which one would win.
Well, if his mom was the fire definitely wins. I'm just gonna say that.
All right. Well, I don't know.
But I feel as though if you're going to lead a church, you have to be balanced. You have to have, you know, your direction, but also have an ear to the congregation. That way, y'all can learn to coexist, not in just the spiritual realm, but the reality. Like I said, you know, you have the spiritual and the reality. And I feel as though once those two can mesh together, then the congregation and the people can advance, you know, further towards, you know, the kingdom of God. But not everybody think like that.
I'm behind you, man. You just let me know when you buy the building.
Rudy, I was about to say, so we should start something new on the podcast. We should start a church. We should start a church podcast where when we have guests, everybody has a different role. And so I'm the choir director. I'm gonna keep my
Okay.
The choir president. I'm just president. I'm not director. I'm the president.
Gotcha.
Trey may be putting his name in to be the pastor of our virtual virtual church.
Okay.
What is your title gonna be? What role you want? And we can have multiple roles.
I mean, I guess you give it to me. This is everybody else getting theirs. I want to know mine. I don't know.
You know, we're gonna save the musician part for real musician. So we'll get you another.
I just want to be the guy in charge of the paperwork, so I make sure we don't pay taxes. All right, that's fine. I'm already white. I fit into that role perfectly.
Janessa and Rudy, Deacon Dumas.
Yeah.
So okay, Terry, you can be the business accountant.
Hey, my father ain't paid taxes in 25 years, so it's.
I guess
he the man for the books.
We can't have this virtual podcast church without one deacon. So I guess Rudy, you're gonna have to be the first deacon, okay? Because we gonna get a real musician, okay? We gonna get a real musician. Rudy told us last week he had to play the organ. He don't know how to play the organ. No.
You know what's funny is
I can't play the organ.
I actually used to be a musician, believe it or not.
Well, we can't get enough people to join the Worst Ones virtual church.
But you guys wouldn't like my music.
Oh goodness.
So Trey, what you as we close out, like I guess talk to us about like you got any type of like business, anything, or like like anything that you.
Well, I'm working on my little ebook. I'm working on my ebook for health and fitness, you know, because I just want to share my experience with the world. I feel as though my story I know it's going to help people now too. I'm just like, wow, my story is really going to touch people because I was a big boy. And then for me to lose like 150 pounds, it's just like, wow, you know, ain't no telling who's going to get inspired by this. So I'm working on that. I got something.
We're all going to get a free copy of this book, obviously, right? Like,
of course.
Obviously, yeah.
I'll
get the free link.
I'll pay for mine, but Trey, I need mine to be signed. Okay.
No, I grew up poor. But, you can give me one. I'll take the free one.
I mean,
to say a nice little message in mine too.
For now, I'm just trying to be the biggest sponge I can be. I'm trying to absorb all the information from all kind of people because you never know if you were meant to just even talk to even one conversation from one person from a stranger can just change your outlook on something.
Yep.
So I feel as though if I can just be a sponge and just absorb everything. You know, if I can, because I can absorb it, and then from that point, I can dictate. Okay, this ain't gonna work. This will work. I keep that. I keep this, on the side for now. Okay, let me put this in my back pocket, save it for later. For later, like a draw four. Boom. So.
Uno, mother.
That's all I'm trying to do.
Gotcha.
So, man, I'm just really trying to be a sponge. I know that's a weird way to put it, but
that's a good way to be, man. That is a good way to be.
I got you. All right. Well, tell the folks where they can find you. I believe this is correct, isn't it?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Mr. 200.
First of all, you need
the
to
reason behind that.
Is it
name,
is it underscore Mr. 200?
First of all, it's at underscore Mr. Dot 200. Like they gotta type that shit in.
So
yeah, some people just listen and they can't see it.
And it's the number
Okay.
200.
So,
number 200.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason behind that was the amount of weight that I lost, and I just felt like, okay, this is big, like, because I did. Well, it was 200. It was 200.
What's going on? You lying? You need to go back.
I was a big dude.
You need to go back to church, man.
I was a big boy. People didn't know my weight, but I was
supposed to be Mr. 150.
But okay, so I guess people can put a perspective how I did it. I did Insanity. I don't know if people heard about that.
Oh, wow.
Sean T.
Yeah.
I did Insanity. I wore the sauna suit top while I did it, and then I did T25. But once I got into powerlifting, my diet had to change because I gotta eat. You gotta eat to lift the weights, So that's the, and man, just doing that video alone is just like wow. And like people that can change their body are self-disciplined to an extent you can imagine. So it's just like, man, if I could do that, ain't no telling what else I can do because I was just determined I want to change. I'm not gonna blame nobody. I'll have myself, not to blame, but if I want to get to point B, from point A to point B, it's all on me. And just from learning that alone has really helped me out. Like, okay, it's on me. I got this no matter what. You fall down 99, you get up 100. Hey, that's all you can do, baby.
Gotcha. I ain't mad at it.
But I appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah, man.
We should have you more. To be honest, like you're like a more reasonable Rudy. Like
Rudy's always been the wild one.
I don't even want to get in.
Nobody's me. I mean, don't be disrespectful. Nobody's me.
I'm just saying. When we start going at predestiny versus free will, we got to mention it every episode. That's the thing.
Well, it wasn't even mentioned this episode until now, so blame yourself.
I am.
Church announcements, Janessa.
Oh yes.
Kellie.
Follow us on social media, specifically Instagram at The Worst Ones PK. Make sure you follow us and share and get your friends to follow us. After you do that, you should go listen to us on YouTube and Apple Podcast and
watch on YouTube.
Oh, watch on YouTube. This is not my job, okay? Kellie, this is Kellie. Watch on YouTube and listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to your podcasts. You can find us there, The Worst Ones Podcast. And once you do that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and share. I don't know why I can't ever get that right, as if it's going to change. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. That's it. And you can find Kellie at Princess Kells51. Her profile is still private, but you should still send her a friend.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And you can find me at Melanated Brews or JRihanna _. We have fun over there when I feel like it.
There you go. All right.
And you can follow at Kellie's Hair, which is why she isn't here. On Instagram. I'm going to shame her for not being here for this entire episode because I feel like you guys are letting her off the hook. So that like, I don't care if you follow me or not, but it's at Terry Wayne Comedy.
Go easy on the Terry.
No, we should shame each other when we're not here. Hold each other accountable.
We've never.
When I'm not here, I fully expect to listen to the episode and be like, he ain't here because of such and such. Like, just
you must have never listened to the episodes. We never shame you.
I know, and that's a shame. It's a shame
you.
that you don't shame me.
No, it's a shame that you shamed Kelly and we didn't even do that.
I'm gonna shame it up.
At the podcast page, y'all know what it is. It's a live podcast. If you want to join and give your comments on the topic at hand, we do it live on Zoom. The Zoom ID is 815-499-0955. Pull up. All right. Well, Trey, man, I definitely appreciate you, man. You know, you're my guy, man.
I think he's my guy, actually, to be honest, after this podcast.
No.
Hey, man, I'm just saying.
Actually, I think he was my guy first, but you know, whatever.
He's my guy now.
Guys, man.
Okay, so speaking of shame, since the last two guests, Janessa shamed me for not thinking of them to invite them. I thought of Trey to invite him. And you didn't think of him, Janessa. So he's my guy.
But
okay.
Who's Trey? I only know Richmond.
To be fair, we changed the criteria of guests. To be fair.
What? What you mean?
We did change the criteria of guests.
What do you mean? How we change the criteria?
That that their parents had to be a pastor, like of their own church.
No, we did not. That was never a thing.
We said yes.
No, we never said that. We just said they had to be a preacher's kid. Because you was trying to invite like people whose parents was in the choir or something like that.
That's why I wanted to do it. That's why.
Or like a musician. They daddy played the saxophone. Or something.
No, not the saxophone.
The saxophone.
We did have a guy that's bad on the saxophone though.
If you had a parent,
he is a great, amazing player.
If you have a parent that's a preacher, you are a PK. You are qualified to be on this podcast.
Rudy, to be fair, the choir people got all the tea on the whole church. I ain't even gonna lie.
I believe that.
Between them and the ushers, they know everybody business.
You know I love the usher board.
Anyway,
man, your sister was the was the head usher. I remember that. No, I'm talking about
we'll talk about
Jessica.
We'll talk about it. We got to close this out. All right. We appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate y'all listening. We are the worst ones. Hold two fingers up, Trey. We out.